Okay, so we proceed to radius of curvature. For example, we have this function. So let's say this function is expressed as y is equal to, let's say, f of x. So along the curve, for example, you are to consider an arc. Okay, so this arc can be possibly an arc of a circle. So for example, we are to consider this point as the center of that. Supposedly, if we are to complete this portion as a circle, the center is, let's say, h, k, and we are to draw the shortest distance from this arc to this point. That is called the radius of curvature. So how to compute for the radius of curvature? That is in terms of rho. We have the rho is equal to, we have 1 plus, we have y prime, or that is the first derivative of the function. This is squared, raised to 3 over 2. This is all over y double prime absolute value. Okay, so when I said absolute value, there are cases that if you are not to use absolute value, you will be having a negative rho or negative radius. So since there's no such thing as a negative radius, so kailan siya nagiging negative, kailan siya nagiging positive. So if we have a negative rho, kung ine-neglect nyo muna yung, if you are to neglect the absolute value there, you'll be having a negative rho if the concavity of the curve is downward, or let's say the point or the center of curvature is below the curve. You'll be having a negative rho. So, kabaliktaran naman yun. Reverse naman yun if you have, for example, the concavity of the curve is opens upward. So, let's say this is the center of the curvature, hk. So, kapag nasa taas naman siya, if the point is above the curve, you'll be having a positive radius of curvature. So, how to if rho is the radius of curvature, we have the curvature. Let's say this is in terms of k. So, basically, the curvature is the reciprocal. Curvature is the reciprocal of the radius of curvature. This is 1 over rho. Or we have that value of k is basically equal to, okay, baliktarin lang natin ito. So again, we are using absolute value para positive yung radius of curvature. So reciprocal of that is the absolute value of y double prime. This is divided by 1 plus y prime squared. Okay, this is raised to 3 over 2. Supposedly, diderive ko to kaya lang medyo may kahabaan siya. You can find many derivation videos of rho and radius of curvature dito sa online. Okay, so let's have an example. So pwede nyo i-search yan. So may makikita din kayo derivation ng mga formula na to from YouTube. So let's have an example. So, example, determine the radius of curvature and curvature of the curve y is equal to 2x cubed minus x plus 3 at x is equal to 1. So, we have the function or the curve y is equal to, yan, so we have 2x cubed minus x plus 3. So, all we have to do is determine the first derivative and the second derivative. So we have the first derivative, we have y prime is equal to, this is the same as 3 times 2, we have 6x exponent minus 1, that is the same as squared minus, so minus 1. So that is 6x squared minus 1. So we have all we have to do is substitute x is equal to 1, that is where, this is the point where we are looking for the value of the curvature and the radius of curvature. So you have This is at, or dito na lang. So we have y prime is equal to 6x squared minus 1. So we have this one at x is equal to 1. What will be the value of y prime? So we have y prime is equal to 6 times 1 squared minus 1. We have obviously y prime is equal to y prime is equal to 5. Alright, so next is we need to determine the second derivative. So from the first derivative, y prime is equal to 6x squared minus 1. Second derivative is y double prime. We have 2 times 6, this is 12x. Then, we need to determine what is the equivalent of y double prime at x is equal to 1. We have y double prime is equal to 12x. This is at x is equal to 1. We have y double prime is equal to 12 times 1. So we have y double prime is obviously equal to 12. Okay, so we have now the value of y prime and y double prime. So what to do is substitute. So this is now for the radius of curvature. We have rho is not equal to, this is 1 plus, we have y prime. What is the equivalent of y prime at x is equal to 1? That is, we have, this is 5 squared. And then this is raised to, we have rho is equal to, this is 1 plus 5 squared. This is raised to 3 over 2. This is divided by the absolute value of y double prime, that is 12. So this is divided by 12. So what will be the value of rho? Let's compute. So the value of rho will be equal to, this is 11.048 units. Okay, that will be the radius of curvature at x is equal to 1. How about the curvature? Curvature is equal to the reciprocal of the radius of curvature. So we'll be having, this is the same as 1 divided by 11.048. So we have the curvature at that point. It will be equal to 0. This is now 0.091 units. Okay, so this is the radius of curvature and curvature on a specific point of the curve. Okay, so we proceed to trigonometric functions or derivative of trigonometric functions. So you have the 6 trigonometric functions. We have derivative of let's say sine x. Derivative of sine x is equal to, we have cosine x dx. We have second one, this is derivative of cosine x will be equal to negative sine x dx. Then we have number 3, derivative of the next function, this is tangent of x is equal to, derivative of tangent is equal to, we have secant squared x dx. Number 4, we have the derivative of cotangent x is equal to negative cosecant squared x dx. Then we have number 5, the derivative of secant x. Derivative of secant x is equal to secant x tangent of x dx. Then last, we have 6, the derivative of the cosecant x is not equal to, this is a negative cosecant x cotangent of x dx. So these are the 6 trigonometric functions and their corresponding derivatives. Though meron pa tayong inverse trigonometric function, the hyperbolic function, exponential function, logarithmic. I will upload a copies of those formula of derivation or derivative formulas. So let's have an example. So i-upload ko na lang as module or say, the list of formula sa Google Classroom. Okay, so we have example. Okay, so for example, we have the function. This is a combination of a variable and a trigonometric function. Or, yes, sige. So if y is equal to x cosine x, find y prime, that is the first derivative. Find y prime at x is equal to pi over 2. So we have the function y is equal to x by cosine x. So here you are to apply the derivative of a product, ub. That is yung first term, u, derivative of the second term, db, plus the second term, b, derivative of your first term. So pwede natin sabihin that our first term is x. Derivative of this first term is equal to dx. Then our second term is the cosine x. This is cosine x. Derivative of cosine is negative sine of x. Ayan. So all you have to do is substitute. So we have the derivative. This is dy is now equal to u. That is x. Derivative of the second term. This is negative sine x dx. Sorry, this is negative sine x dx. Then plus second term. That is we have cosine x. Derivative of the first term, this is dx. So dividing all terms with dx, we'll be having dy over dx is now equal to negative x sine x plus cosine of x. So all we have to do is, this is the same as y prime. Substitution. Ito we have at x is now equal to pi over 2. dy over dx is the same as y prime. This is negative pi over 2 sine of pi over 2. So kung gagamit tayo ng pi, if you are to use pi, make sure that your calculator is in radian or yes, mode radian. Then plus, this is cosine of pi over 2. So cosine of pi over 2 is the same as cosine 90. Cosine 90 is, this is 0, and sine pi over 2 is sine 90. Sine 90 is the same as 1. So you have the equivalent of y prime is equal to negative pi over 2. So that will be our answer. So evaluating a trigonometric function with a specific value of x. And then next we have, let's try another example. So let's have y is equal to sine 2x plus cosine 2x squared. Okay, let's try double angle, then raised to 2. So if you have this type of problem, you can apply the power rule. The derivative of u raised to n is the same as bring down the exponent and u, exponent minus 1, derivative of your term. Okay? So we may do this one. So what is our u? U is, these terms, we have sine 2x plus cosine of 2x. So we have, this is, what is the derivative of u? Derivative of the base. What is the derivative of sine 2x? Sine 2x is cosine 2x. Okay. If you are to recall that, di ba, ano ba yung derivative ng sine? Derivative of sine x is equal to cosine x, then derivative of x is dx. So parang ganun yung gagawin natin dito. We have derivative of u is equal to, derivative of sine is, we have cosine of 2x. What is the derivative of your angle? That is the same as 2 dx. Okay? Then, plus cosine. What is the derivative of cosine? Derivative of cosine is negative sine 2x. Derivative of the angle, that is the same as, okay, the same as 2. Okay, so we having the equivalent of du, I think I can factor out 2. Okay, hindi ko naman nilagay yung dx dito. So this derivative of cosine 2x is negative sine 2x 2 dx. So we can factor out, this is the same as twice of cosine of 2x minus the sine of 2x dx. It is our du. Then substitute to the power rule. Okay, so sa power rule, sundan lang natin ito. So you'll be having the equivalent of y prime. Bring down the exponent, that is 2. Then I multiplied by your base. This is sine 2x plus cosine of 2x. Your exponent minus 1. Then the derivative of the base. What is the derivative of the base? The base u, du, ito yun. That is the same as twice of, or kaya ko muna ito kung gano'n, kung magwet ako ng du. This is dy, so we have twice of the value, we have cosine of 2x minus sine of 2x, okay, dx. So if we have dy divided by dx, this is now dy over dx, then you have 2 times 2, that is equal to 4. Then you have this the same as sine 2x plus the cosine of 2x, then multiplied by cosine of 2x minus sine of 2x. Then we simplify. So you have the same, this is y prime, we have 4. Okay, this is now sine x or sine 2x cosine 2x minus sine squared 2x. Then plus, this is cosine squared 2x, then minus sine 2x cosine of 2x. Okay, so what are the terms that are to be eliminated? We have sine 2x cosine 2x minus sine 2x cosine 2x. So we eliminate this one. We have now y prime is now equal to, we have 4. The remaining terms will be cosine squared 2x minus sine squared 2x. So we can still simplify this one if you can still recall the trigonometric identities. Take note, if we are doing differentiation or derivatives of trigonometric functions, be sure to review your trigonometric identities. So what is the equivalent in terms of trigonometric identities of this? Cosine squared 2x minus sine squared 2x. If you guys still recall the double angle for cosine, cosine 2x, double angle for cosine, is equal to cosine squared x minus sine squared x. So it's the same as cosine squared x minus sine squared x. So this is, if you have to review your trigonometric identities, this is one of the identity under double angle. Kaya lang dito, as you can see, we have a double angle on these terms. So if we are to double the angles on the right side, kung ano yung ginawa natin sa right side ng equation, the same with the left side. If the angles are doubled, so dito, magta-times 2 rin tayo. Supposedly, you have to multiply up to para balance. You'll be having the cosine of 4x is equal to the cosine squared 2x minus the sine squared 2x. So what will be the equivalent of cosine squared 2x minus sine squared 2x? So may equivalent ito, we'll be having y prime is now equal to 4. Equivalent will be cosine of 4x. So that will be the answer for this Example. So y prime is equal to 4 cosine 4x. So I hope you do some review on your trigonometric identities.